Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the OJ podcast. I'm Olivia, this is Jamie, and we are going to be talking about the Canadian GP, but this time we're talking about F1 Academy, and they had
Yes,
three whole races this weekend that we
yes.
get to discuss.
As I have this
Discuss.
episode called episode 7.5.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I watched this while I was doing my little research for my other
Yeah,
job. So I did watch, but I don't know how much I interpreted.
and yeah.
So
And I think this one will also get into a little bit more of the technicals of F1 Academy because there's it's
yeah,
different that needs to be talked about, and also this was the first time that the grandstands were full for the
oh, really?
races. Mhm.
Yay!
And I think that's
That's
why Canada got
exciting.
extended until 2028 for F1 Academy, I think. So,
Canadians know how to be gender inclusive. Let's go.
um, there wasn't much in free practice or qualifying. Qualifying's a little different than Formula One. They just go out for 20 minutes and it's everyone, and whatever you get, you get. So there's that. And then there's also the fact that race number two, or what would normally be race one on a formula or on a weekend, is reverse grid. So whoever's in eighth
Yeah.
starts at pole.
I think that's super fun, by the way.
I do too. I wish the sprints
Yeah.
were kind of like that on
I think
sprint
that'd be
weekends,
awesome.
but I get why they're not.
Well, I feel like then you'd purposely try to go slower, but
Yeah. And it's mainly for F1 Academy it's to get more than the same couple of people up at the
yeah.
front. Um, but we can get into race one. Um,
Shall we?
very very different than Formula One because there is a lot going on. It's also only 17 laps, so
Very short compared to Grand Prix.
very short period with a lot going on. Um,
Mm-hmm. A lot of
right away at
safety.
the
Well,
start.
I think it was the third race that had a lot of safety cars, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Right away at the start, Alicia Polmosky and Chloe Chambers, who were the two in front. So this was the qualifying
Yeah.
order from Miami from the race they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do. Um, but they turned into each other. I think Polmosky spun out, Chambers had damage, but
It was a
otherwise neither of
mess.
them had to retire their car.
Yeah.
So, which seems to be a common theme that they're always going to be hitting each other, which I know there's a lot of people uh there was a lot of people on the internet I saw being like, how do you expect them to ever get into Formula 1 if they're crashing all the time? And so many people
Don't
had to
F3, F4, and F2 also crash all the time?
yeah,
Like,
they're in
chill
F4
out.
cars. Some of them barely have raced in Formula cars or cars in general. Like, this is gonna happen when you don't
Also,
have that
we
skill.
saw an F1 car crash literally the same weekend, so I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. Like, come on. I think when you're going that fast, I don't know how fast F1 Academy cars go, but like upward of 175
I
miles per
think
hour.
150
Fine,
is their
150
max.
miles per hour. Like, you're gonna hit something. Like, I would be hitting stuff. They're doing better than me.
um, a common theme for the beginning part of this weekend was Maya Weg, who was number one in the championship, was stuck with a lot of car troubles. So
Yeah, she like for that first race was sitting. She's Ferrari, right? She was just sitting
yeah,
there on the pit lane
yeah.
forever while they were trying to fix it.
Well,
They just weren't able to.
I think she only got 10 official laps in for the first race
Mhm.
because of her car troubles, which was She qualified terribly because she had to stop for car troubles. She only got like 10 minutes of practice time in for car troubles. Like she was she was struggling.
Terrible weekend for her. I feel really bad for her because
Yeah,
Dorian had a great weekend, which I
I
was
would
quite happy about.
I would argue Ella had an even better weekend.
I saw you posted on TikTok that Papaya was on top, and I think I commented this to you. You
Yeah,
were
and I
posted
responded.
on Instagram, and I said she got second in every race. And on top means first. So Papaya was not on top.
She got the most amount of points out of the weekend. Mhm.
Let me have this. It's a Mercedes weekend, and I won't hear it.
Dorian only won one race and was only at third on the other.
How many races did your McLaren girl win? How many races did Ella win?
None, but she got
A big
second
fat
in
goose egg.
three. Second in three.
As Abby Lee Miller says in Dance Mom, second is the first to lose.
Anyways,
Uh,
I think due to another incident other than the first one at the beginning, Chloe Chambers had like no front wing by lap 4.
yeah, I saw that as well.
So like she she was struggling for being
I felt so
pole.
bad for her.
Yeah. I
She
really
seems so
like her.
sweet too.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
she's
she
American.
that first
So,
race, she is American.
Kerkaw.
There's a lot of Americans in
I know.
this. There's like 3, I
We
think.
gotta represent somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um well, it's just Americans all go to IndyCar or NASCAR. They don't ever go to Formula.
So my dad keeps talking about okay, so for the listeners, I'm trying to get my dad into F1. So I have somebody to watch with while I'm at home because I live 17 closer to like honestly 20 hours away from you, right? Because I'm
Hmm.
17 from school and you're like 3 hours from school. And
Yeah.
so I need a buddy because I can text Jamie during races, but having someone to react with makes it more fun. And
Yeah.
so I am on a mission to get my dad into F1. This is kind of a off-topic side tangent, but you know, why not?
Oh,
And
whatever.
basically, I showed him like a driver's guide video and like an F1 guide video, and he just decided he's a Ferrari fan because he
That's
wants a
so funny.
Ferrari. So you know how they say everyone's a Ferrari fan? Well, it's true because my dad's now a
Yeah.
Ferrari fan. And then I showed him like a driver's guide, and he went,
Uh-huh.
"I like Lewis because he's classy and he has nice." To quote my dad, bling. This is a 49-year-old man. He's about to turn
I
50.
feel like
Bling.
both of those statements are so old people statements for
Yep.
choosing classy.
And, yes. But basically, he thinks my favorite driver is Max because I didn't tell Jamie this in full. And I keep going, no, it's George. And every time Max hears, he goes, that's Olivia's favorite. And I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
I've told you 40 times it's George. Because I'm trying not to influence it. I'm like, you pick who you want and everything. But like, my favorite is George. I root for Mercedes. Oh, he did say he might change to Audi because he likes Audi cars when Audi joins the grid next year.
That's a choice. That is
I
a
know.
choice.
Yeah, well, I'm not giving him any information on the good or bad
Yeah.
teams. Um, but yeah, he's a Ferrari fan. He's a Lewis Hamilton fan now. And I showed him highlights of the races, and he got very angry that Ferrari wasn't winning, and very angry whenever Lewis, his boy, got passed. So that doesn't really relate to F1 Academy. I know I got that on that tangent somehow, but I think the
I don't
audience needs
remember
to
how.
know. I know, me
Mm.
either. But
I will
I
convince.
wanted to tell you this anyway in person because I texted you about it,
Mhm.
but like it's funnier to say it in person, I feel like.
I will be convincing Noah, and I think I can get him convinced. He's just not here yet.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I
but
think I
anyways,
got my dad. Oh, we were talking about IndyCar. Yes, that was the
yeah.
segment. but he keeps bringing up IndyCar people, even though he doesn't watch IndyCar, being like, yeah, this is Formula. I'm like, Dad, no, it's not. This track is not Formula.
Whole different series.
I'm
Whole
like, it's
different series.
different. And he's like, well, what's the difference anyway? Like, why are they not? I'm like, Dad, just accept it's different. It's not that hard.
There's a lot of differences. A lot.
Yeah.
Like both of them are open wheel racing. Different open wheel racing series.
But I'm like, so basically, I guess I'll chronicle this through because he'll probably be watching. If I can get him to, because I have the app, I'll try to get him on Austria's next, Austria,
Hmm.
to watch that race. So then he can officially choose. But the plan is to spend this like next few days as a recruitment process to get him
Mm.
invested.
Hmm. Yep, that's
F1
the way it has to
Academy.
go.
Yes.
Back to F1 Academy. Matilda Pats, who was the wild card entry for this race, she went into the wall of champions on
Can
lap
you
11,
explain what
causing
the
a
wild
safety
card
car.
entry is? I'm new to F1 Academy.
So the wild card
You're
entry is
gone.
basically just to
Hello?
get. Oh, well, it doesn't matter on your end.
It caught up. Okay, try again.
It doesn't matter on your end. It matters on my end. So wildcard entries are F1 Academy gets streamed on F1. It's a bigger, kind of more seen thing.
Yeah.
So what it is the wildcard entries is just to get people's names out there. So every single race there's a different wildcard entry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll go down to my little driving the racing career notes. So there's been a couple of drivers this year were wild card entries last year, so that like shows
Okay.
like if you do good as a wild card, you will get a spot.
Mm-hmm.
So Nita Gademan was a wild card, Ella Lloyd was a wild card, and
Okay.
I think Alicia Palmaski was the only other wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to read. Yeah. And so once again, it's just to get their names out there and show their skills.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. How did they pick them,
Hmm.
though?
Just based off of who's a who's doing good in other series.
Fair enough. Obvious
Um,
answer.
yeah, or just
Yeah.
anyone who's like maybe even if they were karting, just they're in the karting series and they want to try for the first time in a Formula car. F4 is the first car to get into, so Formula One
Yeah.
Academy is also one. Um, but yeah, she crashed pretty hard, causing a safety car. Um, they eventually got racing again, but once again on lap 15, Joanne Comte and Chloe Chong, they went into each other in the chicane because the last chicane, because Rafael Ferreira
Yeah.
like went off and then tried to get back on in an unsafe way
Oh,
and
yes, that was
caused them.
terrifying. That was
Yeah,
so scary.
yeah. Um,
Because she went like, and like right, it was a Haas, right? Like went
yes.
right into it.
Hmm.
Yeah. That scared me. I caught that one for sure. Because I was like, oh my God.
And so that
That
kind
or
of,
like, sorry, if, because the cars are harder, they're like more sturdy. I think it's a very good thing.
what are you going crazy about again?
Oh, shoo. Shoo. Yes, shoo. It's Jamie.
Oh God.
There will be at some point. It's going to get posted. Okay, you're getting guest star my little sister if you want.
Oh, is it Michaela?
Yeah, it's Michaela. Sierra's
Hello,
on vacation.
Michaela. Mm.
She ran away before you could say
Ah,
hi back, but
damn.
I'll let her know. You're still her favorite.
Of course.
You held your
Um,
spot.
yes, of course. But yeah, that was on lap 15, so safety car and ended the race. Um, which that race had Dorian Pond on pod on top, Ella Lloyd in second, and Nina Gademan in third. So
Mercedes on top.
I'm fairly sure Gademan is Sauber.
Yeah,
I remember. No, that's
Yeah,
Felbermeyer.
yeah. Really long last name is Sauber.
Yeah, Felbermeyer.
Wasn't it Sauber though who was there? Let me look it up.
I can't remember what she gets sponsored by. Nina Gaidman is who it is. But
Listen, we're kind of new-ish to Formula Academy, and Jamie hasn't
yeah,
watched it for a few days.
yeah, I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah,
But
I'm the more
every
recent one, and I'm less experienced.
every F1 team has
What's her
to
last name?
Gaidman, Nina.
Click. I recognize her name.
I can Google
Yeah.
it.
Why is Sal? Oh, it's Alpine. Sorry, pink car.
Oh, yes, it is Alpine. Yes.
Yes.
Felbermeyer is
Why
Sauber.
is Sauber so good in F1 Academy, by the
Wow.
way, yet so bad in Formula One?
They're all the same car in F1 Academy. They
Well,
don't get
that's
to
what I
do
meant. They have a good driver.
specifics. Like, it's just drivers being good, not the cars. Uh, actually, no. Okay, no. The Sauber in this first race, I think Felbermeyer, the Sauber car, did get disqualified, I think, for being underweight for race one. Once again,
I
being.
think the weight thing is so stupid because if they weigh the proper amount before the race, I don't think it matters too much because they lose like what, like 6 pounds a race from sweat,
Mhm.
at least at the highest levels, 361. Like, you can't control that. I feel like if you're eating and you're at your weight and your car's heavy enough beforehand, like, sorry, you can lose weight
Yeah,
next
but
week.
it's
I
an
don't think it's that big.
advantage.
I don't care. I don't think it's that much of an advantage. Like, it is, but I don't think it's a fair thing to count as an advantage. I think if before and after your car weighs the correct amount and you're at your like legal weight limit, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it does. Can't help it.
It's a stupid rule.
Anyways, on to race two, which was later that day, and this is the reverse grid. Um, I have first wrote Ella Lloyd had a really quick launch, going from fifth to second right away. So she got herself up there and just stayed up there the entire time, which she was in good
Wait,
spots.
wasn't she the one who got into third and then passed somebody later on, or was that a different race?
Different race?
Because I think there was a safety car in race two, and then
Yes.
after the safety car they restarted,
Oh,
and
yes,
I thought
yes,
she passed there, so she got up to
yes.
third from fifth. What is on my
No,
camera?
she got up to second. There was someone passed her later on, I think. I have it written
Oh,
down.
okay.
She got up
Regardless,
to
she came
second on
back
the
to
start.
second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so we're both not wrong, is what I'm hearing.
there was a massive fight for third. Do I know? I wrote that down and I didn't write down who was fighting each other, so couldn't tell you guys.
Again, I
Sorry.
was doing research. Well, I had it on in the background because I was doing I do research for a different podcast actually. And so I was writing the script for the other
Yeah.
podcast that I work for. And so I was busy, like I had my monitor up, I had my iPad up, and then I had my TV going with F1 Academy. So it was a lot to focus on at once.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Chloe Chambers, once again adding to just her struggle of a weekend in the beginning, goes into the grass
Felt so
and
bad
spins
for
out of
her.
lap five. Like, this girl was having a weekend until the final race. She was fine, but like,
Oh yeah,
struggles.
she had a much better final race.
Oh, yeah. I think the most interesting part of this race was Dorian Pon and Ella Lloyd fighting for second. There was twice that this happened. Dorian Pon overtook Ella, and then
Mhm.
she locked up her back wheels, and this was in the last chicane, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah,
The first
it happened.
time, both of them had gone off from the chicane. For
Yeah.
safety to not get a penalty, Dorian gave back the place to Ella, and then
I mean,
it happened.
Sorry, you and I have talked about this. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but the audio is slightly delayed on my end, so I think you
Oh, I
stop
bet.
and then you're not stopping. Um, but I think it's always the right move to be a little more conservative
Mhm.
because you don't want a time penalty. And even though I
Mhm.
actually don't think that probably would have been penalized because they both went off, it just isn't really worth the risk.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think there would have been an argument that because her brakes locked, that would have allowed Ella to get around. So like, it's iffy.
It
But
was correct to give it back.
later on when it happens again and only Dorian goes off,
Yeah,
she gives the place
obviously.
back, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, Elba Larson and Dorian Pond hit each other in lap 9. Nothing happens. I think Dorian's fine. Fairly sure Larson kind of went back a little bit, but she got back up. I'm fairly sure. I think she got like fifth or fourth in this
All I'm
race.
saying is, I think Dorian hits or is around a suspicious amount of crashes, and I love her,
She's
but
she's
it's
really
suspicious.
aggressive. She is
Yeah.
very aggressive. Um, Oriella Nobles and Maya Weg, contact of lap 10. Once again, nothing really happens of it,
I
but
feel so bad for
I
poor
know.
Maya.
There's so many things just going wrong all weekend.
Because that must
Um,
be like that's 3 races. I'm pretty sure because I think she had a rough
mhm.
final race as well, where she just had a horrible weekend. And she was in first, so I feel so bad for
Yeah.
her because it's clear she's
She's
a decent
now,
driver,
I
but
think she's now third in the championship too.
devastating.
Because I think both Chambers and Dorian pass her.
Well, Dorian
So,
has a pretty solid lead now. She's like 20 points
hmm
ahead with like what,
hmm
only a few races left.
they have three.
Yeah, so like that's a
Yeah.
solid lead
I
for
know
her.
Chloe said in interviews afterwards, like, she doesn't think the fight is gone. Like, she believes she still
Oh,
has a
I don't think it's
chance.
gone either,
Yeah.
but like it's definitely difficult for sure.
Uh-huh. Um,
Mhm.
Rafael Ferreira, I think, got out on mechanical issues, so she's gone. Nicole Havrada, Havdra, I can't do last names.
Havra, Havra, Haverda, Haverda.
See, neither of us can
That's a
do
hard
last names.
last name.
Not the worst of the last names
Nicole.
here. Um, spins out in a chicane. I don't know which one it was on lap 14, bringing out the safety car again. Which I wrote this in my notes because they were starting the race again on lap 17 of like they had
Yeah.
one lap left, and I wrote this in my note, and I was like, I am stressed.
I was so happy though that Emma ended up winning because like I
Hmm.
felt she really deserved it for that race and she held on well. And I got so scared because I again I like Emma when she like went off at that
Yep,
final
that she it was gonna get
chicane.
taken
I'm like
away
they're
from
gonna take
her.
it away from her. They're gonna take it
Hmm.
away from her, and then they didn't, and I was happy.
But yeah, I
Never
don't
thought I'd be
know.
rooting for a Sauber.
Yeah, Nina Gaidman was up front, I think, the entire time. I don't know how Emma got in front of Ella, but she did. But those two pushed Nina back once the restart happened, and Nina ended up third. So
Ah, ah,
that's your only
ah.
response. But yeah,
I
I
don't
think she
care
was the
that
one
much
that was
about
out in
Nina. I'm
front.
sorry, Nina.
Um, in race 3, this is the one that everyone's like, oh, there's so many crashes. They barely got a lap in before there was another safety car. They're so bad. How many? Whatever. One, it's interesting.
Eh.
It's fun to watch. I get there
I like
is,
safety car drama unless you're stuck behind it for too long, but they seem rather
yeah.
efficient compared to Formula One.
Um,
So,
like there's also the thing of like I get that Formula One of Academy is controversial in itself, that a lot of people think they should be in faster cars to try to get up to that level. But also I don't think you can find enough women in faster cars to like to be able to be put in faster cars.
Well,
So it's
this is
like,
supposed to be the entrance into it. This is
yeah,
like younger women trying to get them up into the upper levels.
yes,
So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it matters too much
no.
because
And I think,
you're getting their names out there. And I mean, sure you could do a faster car, but this is also like what? It's the same as like F4. It's
yeah.
like
And so, and
it's
like
like the same level.
the order goes F4, Formula Regional, F3, F2, F1. And so
Yeah.
it's like, and like if you get first, second, and third in F1 Academy, you get a buy into European Formula Regional, which is the most
Yeah.
exclusive, most like this is the big one. So like they're also pushing them toward the next level. Like, can they make it? Who knows? The winner from
Gives the
2023,
platform.
yeah, the winner from
Here, ready?
2023,
Ready for
I'm,
Olivia to get political?
oh God.
Not that political. I don't think it's unfair if there's an inherent bias against you. Like,
Yeah.
I think equality, if you want to find like more equality or more like gender differences in formula, you have to give women the ability to do it. And there is a bias against it. So giving them an opportunity to get into FR, whatever. I can't pronounce the word. I don't want to humiliate myself.
Regional?
I know what it is. What?
Regional?
Regional. Yeah. Regional. It's a hard word. It doesn't. Anyway. Uh,
Regional is your struggle. Regional.
I kept thinking rental, which is where I was struggling. I'm like, it's some French word, but it's regional, and now I'm embarrassed. And I tried to play it
Renault
off.
is a car brand. There is
I'm gonna go
Formula
die in a
Renault.
hole. I'm gonna go die in a hole. I'm never showing my face again.
Anyways,
I just ruined any point I was ever gonna make because I couldn't
couldn't
think of
say
the
the
word
word.
regional. Yeah. Oh,
Um, but I think like the 2023 champion, she does endurance racing now. The 2024 champion just got announced that for Formula E, she is the testing and sim driver for a team in Formula E, which is very, like, that's a big thing.
yeah.
Um, so like they are somewhat going places. They're still driving and stuff if you do win. Like
It's
it's not
also
like they're
brand
going
new.
off. Yeah. I just like
It's what? It's like third year or something? They started in
mhm,
what, 22? Yeah.
23.
I don't expect anyone to get there immediately because you have to go through all the levels anyway. So the fact that we are seeing success, I think, speaks volumes to what
Hmm.
they're doing with it. And so I don't need to hear these arguments because I think they are wrong.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
it's a lot of people just dissing on women like always.
Sorry. Oops. Sorry, I was born with different genitals. Like, what do you want from me?
um
Oops.
anyways, race 3, uh Ella has another great launch. She's really good at the starts, I've started to
She
learn.
has good reaction times for sure.
She which might be she used to show jump and ski professionally.
Mm,
Like she competed in international skiing and show
that sounds
jumping. So,
horrifying. I would never do that.
and then she just decided to
Why?
start like I read her wiki, her dad raced, so that's why she started racing instead of
Uh,
doing skiing and show jumping. So like but yeah.
I would never.
Lap
Okay,
1.
I would never do skiing, but also, if you're that good at skiing and jumping like that, why would you ever leave? Because honestly, driving car fast is impressive, but jumping in the air on ski more impressive.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Lap 1 was crazy. There was a lot of stuff going on in lap 1. Right away,
Yeah.
so Alicia Polmosky kind of turns into Ella, which sends her off
Mm-hmm.
course and into Dorian. Luckily, they all made it out alive. Alicia only had wing damage, but otherwise there was no damage to any of the cars. So that was kind of crazy. That nothing happened. Um, but then the wild card entry, Matilda Pats, she lost some rear grips on one of the turns, goes into the wall, and then when she hits the wall, she comes across the track, which causes Ava, last name I'm never gonna pronounce, to T-bone her.
Oh God, Anna got status.
I think it's Anna Gosnati's, something like that, if I remember correctly from the announcers.
You completely cut out on my end.
You'll never
Literally,
know.
you started and then you were gone, and then you said what I heard from the announcers, and I'm like, what did you hear, Jamie? I don't know.
You'll never know. No, I think it's Anna Nastades.
Ah,
If I remember from the announcers, kind
where
of
is she
similar.
from? That looks Greek.
No, she's from Australia. She only has Australian
It looks
citizenship.
Greek.
She might be from Greece,
Sure.
but she only has Australian citizenship. So,
Hmm.
well, I think my
Keep
favorite
talking. I'm looking for her ethnic background.
I think my favorite one when it comes to looking at like drivers, like what citizenships they have is
Italian and Greek descent. I'm so good at this.
Nobles is so she has three citizenships. She races under
Yeah.
Brazil. She's Brazilian. Belgium, and then she was born in America, so she's also American. Her parents aren't American, but she was
Crazy.
born in Boston, Massachusetts, so she's American.
Beantown?
Yes. But she races
People.
under the Brazilian flag. Um,
I don't blame her.
but that was a big crash that causes the safety car to come out. I think there was a lot of damage in that one. That one was a little woo woo. Um, Later on in lap 8, after the safety car is gone, Nina Gademan gets a 10-second penalty for going into. I think she hits the backside of Emma Felbermeyer, causing Emma
Mhm.
Felbermeyer to spin out. She was not out, but it caused her to spin out, lose places.
Yeah.
So,
Which was sad because
10
I
second
quite like
penalty.
Emma. I do.
um,
I like Emma a lot. She's like she and Dorian are my two favorites in
mhm.
Academy, so I was sad.
I gotta go for Ella.
I'm not a McLaren fan.
I always have to go for my McLarens. When
You don't
McLaren,
always have to. You choose to.
oh, I always have to. When McLaren is finally in 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2028, I'll be there. I will be there.
Here's the thing, Jamie. You own more Red Bull merch than you own McLaren merch.
If you count all of my cars, all of my Lego cars, that is a lie.
That's fair. I was talking about clothing, but
But
you
that's
own a
because
lot of Red Bull merch as well, and you are not a Red Bull fan. So is Papaya really on top? We're asking the real questions here.
more uh normal store brands don't have Oscar merch. And like I love Lando. I would get Lando merch too, but most of the Lando merch I didn't like. So,
So you got Max Verstappen merch instead, who's not
yes.
even in your top six drivers.
Yeah, but he's also part of the two that got me into the sport. So like
That's fair.
there's some love there. Some long lost
That makes me
love.
feel any better. I can never find Mercedes merch except for online. So
Mercedes never going to be anywhere. Never going to find that.
I want it.
um but
I want it.
anyways, later in lap 10, Leah Block hits the back of Rafael Ferreira, and she spins out. Rafael Ferreira does.
Mhm.
Sorry, hiccup. Anyways, and then Arila Nobles hits her. hits the spun out Rafael Ferreira, causing both Leah Block and Nobles to be out. Which is so sad
Oh
for
wow.
Nobles because, according to the announcers, this happens to her all the time. She is always in the
Oh,
wrong place at the wrong time. And,
that sucks for her.
yeah, which causes another safety car because that means two cars are stuck on the track somewhere again. So that's already four people are out in this race.
Yeah,
Um,
it was crazy to look at it at the end and just see the line of like dark text.
yeah. And then the last thing that happens is Emma Felbermeyer goes into the backside of Courtney Crone, causing her to spin and be out on lap 15, and then another safety car till the end. Which,
You were
crazy.
thrilled because of the McLaren, and I hate you for it.
Yeah. Dorian got third.
Anyway, Mercedes in first for the championship, so I'm happy.
Not in the F1 championship.
That was uncalled for. That was me. Also, I'm actively manifesting a George World Championship. I don't care how far fetched it seems. My boy will somehow get it.
Max is more likely than George. George has 90 points to recover,
Let me manifest, Jamie.
which basically just means that both Oscar, well, Oscar's in the top, so I guess Oscar, Max, and Lando just need to keep crashing, and I think that's his only chance. I
I'm
don't
good with
think they're
that.
going to keep crashing. Max might keep crashing. That's a for sure.
Max into Oscar a few times. And then Lando sometimes. And then Mercedes. Kimmy second.
I,
Who cares? I'm going all in on my
I don't
manifesting. Turn to
know.
the knob.
Well, the Dream World Championship would be Oscar Lando Ice. If we go my top three. Just gotta go
Not
full in top three. Top
no
three.
no 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 no. I'll is it worse for Charles to be in third?
No. He's doing better than he has been. Third would
Well,
be
that's
great for
true.
him. He's
Yeah,
in
but
fifth
like
right
it's just
now.
another heartbreak for him.
Oh, yeah.
My dad is in such a heartbreak place for Ferrari. He doesn't know what's gonna hit him.
Yeah, this was also for not Ferrari's weekend in F1 Academy because
No,
Maya's
no.
obviously the Ferrari driver, but also Ariella Nobels is also another Ferrari driver, just not in their car. And she also had a bad weekend. So Ferrari this weekend, not having it. Except at 24 hours of
Hey,
only thing.
24 hours of Le Mans.
But then one of their cars got disqualified.
They're just not at a good time.
At least it wasn't their first place car, but still.
Oh, that would be awful.
That would be
Yeah, they're just
awful.
not vibing.
Yeah. But anyways, F1
It's okay.
Academy's very fun to watch. I think in my opinion, it was more fun to watch than the Formula One race
Well,
because
I
it
think
got
it's less
boring.
attention.
Well, yeah.
Eh.
But I fully watched it and I didn't get bored at one point. I was actively interested the entire time.
Listen,
Whereas,
I was looking up Napoleon's invasion of Russia, so I was being entertained by my French history love. So I was slightly distracted.
really disrespecting the women here.
I like the woman
Disrespect.
too. I wanted to pay more attention, but the job came first because money.
Yeah,
If
well,
you want me to
Lewis,
pay more, here, wait, watch this plug. Ready? if you want me to pay more attention to F1 Academy, subscribe, like, follow on all our platforms so I can sit there and not have to work another job, a real
Uh,
job. Let me do this instead. That'd be so much more fun. Thanks. Go, Jamie.
Anyways, I was gonna go talking into Lewis loves Dorian. I think that's even though he is
I
Ferrari
love how he's
now.
rooting for her on Mercedes when he is a Ferrari driver.
Yeah, but well, she's like everyone thinks that she's the one that has the most chances to get higher up. Um, she she's did last year in Formula One Academy. She got second, so she
Yeah.
was doing great last year. Um, she got 27th in Formula Regional, which makes sense, but she's 25th this year, and that's with I think missing
So
a
improvement.
race. So there is improvement there. And then she'll get a bye for next year too. So hopefully
Yeah.
she does it next year again because she can't drive in Formula One Academy after this
I'm sure
year.
she will. And she is
Um
an experienced driver, right? Like she
mhm.
think she did Le Mans before, correct?
Yes, she has done Le
Or am I
Mans.
going
They
crazy?
they didn't finish. They crashed.
But she's
But she
still
did do
done
Le
it.
Mans. Yeah.
That still speaks
Um
to her race ability.
Yeah. I think her or Maya probably have the biggest chances to keep going higher up. Chloe Chambers has done a lot of stuff not in like open wheel cars, so she might not
Okay.
be as interested to just go into open wheels. She did get sixth last year, so she didn't even get a chance to do Formula Regional this year, so maybe, but who knows? This is her last year in Formula One Academy because they can only do 2 years. So unless you win, then
Makes
you're
sense.
done. Um, my favorite moment though was seeing Oscar's girlfriend cheering on Ella on the podium. I loved that. Loved it.
Of course.
What?
Of course
The
we bring it back to
papaya?
Oscar.
No, the papaya support. Come on. Love
Of
it.
course we bring it back to Oscar. How could we not? By the way, my dad also just decided to hate McLaren on a whim. I gave him nothing about it. He went, Jamie's a fan of McLaren, right? Tell her team sucks. Exact quote.
My team is
So
great.
my
I don't
dad
know
hates
what he
McLaren.
means.
He
I
literally
don't know
just
what
asked
he
me who
means.
you rooted for. And then like 20 minutes later he go because I think we were watching Australia. We watched Lando win and then we watched the highlights of Miami Sprint and Lando
So
won
Lando
and he
win
went, "Oh,
again.
I don't like him."
Just because he won twice? You gave him the two
Apparently,
races?
we watched Max win. He does think Max is a jerk. So, oh, and
That's
he's
actually
not that
great.
bad. He's just competitive, and he went, "Meh, not the attitude." Lewis is classy. He likes the
I
class.
know, like, he's really sounding like a Lewis fan. Like, this is
Yeah,
so
he's a
Lewis
Lewis
fan
fan.
of him. Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep watching Formula One Academy. Their next race is until August, which is
I'll be
awful.
watching though,
Yeah.
so we can
Um,
podcast about it, Jamie.
I do
Hopefully,
want
this time I'll be able to pay more attention.
I do want to try watching. I wouldn't make a podcast episode out of it, but I do want to try watching Formula 2 and 3 just if I have time, especially Formula 2 because
Those
like
are the incoming,
yeah,
most
like
likely.
they're the potential for next year. Like I know a bunch of them
Mhm.
already, so like I know who I like. Um
Yeah, McLaren.
no, I'm not a big fan of Alex Dunn. Like he's not the worst, but he's not like I'm going to root for him. But okay, there's the problem that if you're a McLaren Academy driver, you're never gonna get into Formula One in a McLaren car.
That's true because they have Oscar and Lando.
They have the dream team, and they're stuck there until 27, I think, is when Lando's contract ends. So like, eh, You
And they'll
can't
probably re-sign him, let's be real.
if yeah, if Lando stays that long.
He's talked to, like, McLaren's his dream job. I
Yeah, but I'm
don't
not
really see
surprised
him
if he
leaving.
does a Nico Rosberg, wins his world championship, and is like, done.
Oh, that I could see happening based on
That's
how
what I
he talks.
mean.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I think Oscar will
So
be stuck
maybe if
there.
Lando wins this year, maybe you will see him. Who knows?
Who knows? No, if I was gonna go like Formula 2, I like Arvid, which is the Red Bull driver. I like uh Dino. He's Ferrari. Or is Dino? Yeah, Dino's Ferrari. There's another one who he races for on well, he's an academy driver for Alpine that I like. Which anybody that
Not enough
drives,
to learn his name.
I know, I can't think of it. Anyone that drives for Alpine, I feel so bad for them.
Oh, they
I
are
feel
going
so
into a
bad.
cursed position.
Cursed, so cursed. Like
It's so bad.
even
Why
I
would
feel
you
like in
like?
Formula One Academy, I feel like there's also still the curse. It's still there. Like she got third, but did
Pierre
anything
deserves better.
did anything else happen to her? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's cursed. Uh, but anyways,
It's
I
it.
think that's it for this shorter episode.
Do you want to try to do the outro, Jamie?
No, that's your job,
Dang it. Okay, I wanted
not
to see you
mine.
fail it and laugh at you. Okay,
Not
everybody.
mine.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Stereotypical YouTuber. Only the blah 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 of our percentage of our subscribers or our watchers are subscribed. That whole jazz. Uh, Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. We'll all be at 2OJ or OJ everywhere. And
You
yeah,
can't
thanks for
see it, but I
watching.
did write it on my whiteboard, but you can't see it at all. You can see the black, but you can't tell what it says.
Just write it
Anyways,
like even bigger next time.
yeah,
But
obviously.
yeah,
Well,
thank you
that's if I'm in
everybody.
this
Bye
room.
bye.
Bye bye.